As a multi-millionaire, I've had hundreds of people pitch me their business ideas. Today I'm going to pick the best 5, rate them, and show you how to make millions for yourself. Stick around to the end to hear a bonus tip that will fast track success no matter what business you start.
So you see people like him, most people when they work out by themselves. And the main reason of that is, they haven't got no one to work out with.
Yeah, I agree.
Their friendship group is,
Totally.
They may be far away or they may be on different time slots. However, I'm trying to build a platform where, let's say for example, I wanted to go for a jog right now at 6 p.m. 3-mile jog, who wants to go with me? There's no platform right now.
Brilliant. Let's do it. Let's go for a run. Let's go. Ready? Let's do it. Come on. Still makes me laugh that bit. Let's talk about what I hate about this idea first of all. Now, do we need another app? I don't think so. I'd probably not make it an app. Initially, I'd build a simple community, something on Discord which is free, or something on Facebook groups that's free that people can join, and then you can match people up manually. This is actually what Airbnb did when they launched their $30 billion company. All they actually did was match 2 parties up, those that had a room or were listing it somewhere, and those that were looking for a room. They did it manually initially. I'd do exactly the same. Would I invest in this business? This business for me is an 8 out of 10. I love the founder, I loved his energy, he looked like the brand, and I honestly think that this business could be worth $1 billion. If you did it step by step, it wouldn't cost you a lot to get it going. 100% I'd invest in this idea. Have you ever thought about starting a business of your own?
I've dreamt about having a hospital.
How much do you think you need to make a hospital happen?
So it depends, about 3 million to start up and buy land.
I have to start off by being a bit harsh with this idea initially, and I say this carefully. It's too big an idea. £3 million up front to make it happen, I fear that it might never happen. So how to make an idea like this happen? The Japanese once said, to move a mountain, move one small rock at a time. And that's what you need to do with an idea like this. Actually, all you need initially to do is help one person. Help that one person create a case study, proof of concept, proof of ability to support people, and then you can say to people, investors, look, I helped this one person by providing this service. I want to build a hospital that provides this service on the ground. You have got to think, you might as well think big, but remember to make the steps very actionable and small at the beginning to make big dreams happen. I rate this idea a 6.5 out of 10. I know it's low, I only do that because I actually think she needs to break down the idea into something much smaller. If she does that, I think this idea could be a 10 out of 10.
Hey man. I know you from TikTok.
Oh right, cool.
Videos for ages,
thanks. What do you do?
I'm a business development manager. Just basically get myself going with being self-employed, a telemarketing agency.
So just to clarify Dennis's idea, telemarketing, very simply, you're trying to get people to hire you as a company to do phone calls often to your potential clients to get you work. So in other words, he's a marketing company selling to people a marketing service, and that service ultimately will bring people more business. It's actually a pretty interesting business model because ultimately your sales pitch to the market would be, I'm going to make you money. Every time you pay me money as a company, my job is to then make you money. Easiest sell in the world. If you can basically hire salespeople, hire a way of making more money for you, then actually quite often brands will buy it. And it's quite easy that way to make a business grow. But what I hate about this idea is often those businesses are based on hours, how many hours you sell of your telemarketing service. But the key is, don't sell time, buy time. And ultimately, I think if Dennis actually builds this business so that he's selling a solution, i.e. I make you £1 million, I want 10%, that is very scalable. If he sells by the hour, he'll have to hire thousands of people to make real profit. And so for me, Dennis's idea on this type of business is a 4 out of 10 because ultimately, if it's just service, it's actually quite hard to scale. But if he puts on top something that's very scalable, i.e. a percentage of the profit, then this business is very investable, very scalable. Personally, I definitely invest in it. What business would you do?
Right, so the idea is to have an app to just show you where the cheapest beers are.
First of all, I'm going to tell you why I don't like this idea. Everybody knows where the cheapest beer is already. If you're drinking beer or going out, people know where the cheapest beer is. With an idea like this, I don't think the value is actually in where the cheapest beer is. It's getting value from buying beer from certain locations. If you go to Costa or you go to Pret, they'll give you a loyalty card, right? And often if you get a stamp on it, you can get a free sandwich or a free coffee. Now the reality is that we all go to many different venues depending on where we live and what we've got access to. I think there's always a market for someone someone that will cross-platform all of those venues. So instead of having many loyalty cards, you basically have one central loyalty card. How could you make money out of that? Well, there's a few ways. First of all, the venues themselves might well sponsor you, especially if you get a lot of people signing up to your loyalty platform. On top of that, brands might sponsor. I'm sure Heineken or any of the drinks brands would love to sponsor an app like that to make you fall in love with their product. As a business idea, I think it's 6 out of 10. With my additions to it, I think it could be a 10 out of 10.
Would you ever start a business of your own?
Yeah, why?
What business would you start?
A restaurant, of course.
I've invested in 3 restaurants and none of them have made money. And I'll tell you why. It's such a tough business. It's so hard, you've got so many moving parts. You have to get, of course, a physical location to serve food, the cost of food, the cost of management. The thing I've heard people say, you can have a busy restaurant, doesn't mean you're making money. It is so hard to make a restaurant work. Now, there are plenty of people that are making it work. And here's the reason I am backing this idea: purpose. We're all here for a reason. David's reason is to cook and make people happy. Why did all 3 of the restaurants I've invested in the past fail? Well, 2 reasons. 1, I wasn't involved in the operations. I just think that's important. If you invest in something, you probably need to be involved in the operations. And more importantly, no chef was the founder. All of the restaurants I've invested in were people in management running it. David is a chef. That's the answer. If you've got someone at the heart of the beast cooking the food and caring about the food, then the restaurant is very likely to work. So ironically, although I failed 3 times in the restaurant business, I would invest in this idea. I believe in David. I give it a 9 out of 10. I leave 1 point off because it is a tough old business and I don't think it's for everybody. But if David does it, I'm sure it's going to work. I would 100% invest in this, despite failing many times in this space, because I've learned from my failure. You need someone like David at the heart of it to make it work. Now here's the bonus tip I promised you to help you ensure success in business in the future, no matter what you do. And here it is: decentralize everything. If you let the community own your business and you just own a piece of the community, you will make a lot of money going forward. If you enjoyed this video, we've got another video with 5 more business ideas that can help you get started.